At 9:12 a.m., the office is already awake. Screens glowing, fingers moving, coffee half finished. Everything looks stable. And yet, somewhere between the login screen and the lunch break, something feels off. Not dramatic, not loud, just heavy. Like life is happening, but not moving. You are earning. You are showing up. You are doing what you were told would work. So why does it feel like you're standing still? The answer doesn't begin in your job. It begins much earlier. In school, you were trained to follow a path that was never designed for freedom, only for predictability. Study hard. Get good grades. Find a stable job. A system built during industrial times, when human beings were needed to be reliable, not self-directed. And it worked. It created security. But it also created something else. A silent trade. You were never told this directly, but you accepted it anyway. In exchange for stability, you gave up control over your time, your decisions, and slowly, your sense of direction. At first, it feels like relief. A fixed salary. A routine. A clear structure. Your brain loves this. Because uncertainty is expensive for the mind. It consumes energy. Predictability feels safe. But here's where it starts to turn. Human beings are not designed for static environments. There's a principle in psychology, not often talked about outside research circles, called hedonic adaptation. It means no matter how big the upgrade is, your brain normalizes it. The first salary feels powerful. The third, expected. The 10th, invisible. And now, something strange happens. Your effort stays the same, sometimes even increases. But your emotional return starts declining. You are working, but you're not feeling progress. And progress, not comfort, is what gives life meaning. So the system gives you something to compensate. Promotions, appraisals, titles. But they come slowly, predictably, controlled by someone else. Your growth becomes scheduled. And when growth is scheduled, it stops feeling like growth. It feels like waiting. Now add another layer. Your income is fixed, but your exposure is not. Every day, through your phone, you are seeing people building, creating, earning differently. Not necessarily more, but differently. They control their time. They make decisions. They take risks. And suddenly, your stability starts to feel like a boundary. Not protection, but limitation. This creates a psychological conflict. One part of you wants safety. Another part wants expansion. And when both exist together without resolution, it creates a quiet kind of frustration. Not loud enough to break your life, but strong enough to slowly drain your energy. That's why you feel tired, even when you're not physically exhausted. Because your mind is carrying an unresolved contradiction every single day. Now here's the part most people never see. It's not just about money. It's about agency. The sense that your actions are directly shaping your future. In a salaried structure, that connection gets blurred. You work, but the outcome is distributed. Shared with the system. Controlled by timelines. Filtered through hierarchy. Your effort feels diluted. And when effort doesn't feel directly connected to results, motivation starts to collapse. Not immediately. Gradually. Silently. That's the stuck feeling. Not because you're failing, but because the feedback loop between your actions and your life is too weak. Now, the instinctive reaction is to escape. Quit the job. Start something big. Take a risk. But that's not a solution. That's a reaction. And reactions rarely solve structural problems. Because the real issue is not the job. It's the way your life is designed. Right now, your entire identity, your time, your income, your growth, everything is dependent on one system. One source. One path. And any system, no matter how stable, becomes fragile when it carries your entire life. So the solution is not to destroy stability. It is to break dependency. Quietly. Intelligently. You don't need a dramatic exit. You need parallel growth. A second layer of identity. Something where your effort directly reflects in your outcome. It could be a skill, a small project, a side income stream, not for money at first, but for psychological restoration. Because the moment you see even a small result that is purely yours, something shifts. Your brain reconnects effort with reward, control with outcome, action with progress. And suddenly, the same job that once felt like a cage starts feeling like a base. Not your whole life, just one part of it. That's when the stuck feeling begins to dissolve. Not because your job changed, but because your position inside it changed. You are no longer dependent. You are choosing to stay, while quietly building the option to leave. And that changes everything. Because the deepest form of freedom is not having no structure. It is having the ability to walk away from one. And when you reach that point, you won't feel stuck anymore, even if nothing on the outside has changed.